Hey, good morning, guys. This is Lance McDonald. Happy Safety Monday. Today, we're bringing back Lieutenant Harmon to talk about something that's near and dear to his heart, something that he's passionate about. As we approach the holiday season, we're going to spend a lot of time on the road, and Lieutenant Harmon shared a story with me a few years ago I'd like for him to share today.
This is dear to my heart, and it's dear to the Tennessee Highway Patrol's heart. During my defensive driving classes, I tell a story, and it's a true story, and it's personal to me. In my 12 counties that I look after, every time someone's killed on a Tennessee roadway, I get a phone call in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day. Every time someone's killed on a Tennessee roadway, we get woke up because I'm the public information officer. A few years ago, I didn't get woke up. I got an email at 6 o'clock in the morning where a gentleman had been killed on a roadway in Tennessee. And I recognized the name. When I seen the name, it was a TDOT employee. And I get goosebumps when I talk about it. It's because I knew that employee. He was out of Region 2, and he was in one of my safety meetings, one of my defensive driving safety meetings. He sat on the front row to the right, and I always go motion to the right because that's where he sat, on the front row. After I got done with the meeting, he came up to me and told me he enjoyed the meeting, and I appreciated that. He said he learned some things from that, and that was in September. That was in September. 4 days prior to Christmas, I get this email where a TDOT employee had been killed in a car crash going to work. I have the fatal report of that TDOT employee in front of me. It touched me that day because I thought I couldn't reach him to convince him to wear his seatbelt. Here's the fatal report from that TDOT employee. It's a preliminary report that we get every time someone's killed in Tennessee. We get a preliminary report. The driver was killed. Drinking, yes or no? It answers questions. No, no drinking, no drugs. The next question says, safety belt in use, yes or no? Preliminary information at the scene, the troopers on the scene working the crash, the driver was not wearing his seat belt. The next question or comment says, in the trooper's opinion, would safety restraints have made a difference? The trooper says yes. In the professional opinion of a Tennessee state trooper that has worked thousands of crashes, if the driver would have had their seatbelt on, they would have survived the crash. Then it goes on to give me a brief description of the crash. Vehicle 1 was traveling east on highway such and such. Vehicle was approaching a left-hand curve. For an unknown reason, the vehicle veered off the right side of the roadway, went over an embankment, and came to rest, hitting the opposite embankment. At this time, the driver was ejected on impact. If that employee would have only had his seatbelt on, he would have survived the crash. That is the hardest thing for me, is I taught that gentleman in a defensive driving class. He told me he always wore his seatbelt. I had people tell me that he always wore his seatbelt because he knew how important it was, because he goes to the interstate system and helps clean that mess up when we have a horrific crash. My point is, he didn't have it on that day. It only takes one trip not wearing that seatbelt. You can wear it all the time, but not wear it one time, you can be killed in a crash, just like this TDOT employee did 4 days prior to Christmas. That's why the Tennessee Highway Patrol is so passionate about seatbelts. We know it prevents injuries and death. I'm not going to tell you it's going to save your life every time, but if you're running 75 miles an hour in the rain and you hydroplane and go across the median and hit a tractor trailer truck head on, there's nothing going to save you. When it's your time, it's your time. But I'm telling you, wear those seat belts. We're passionate about it, and it will save your life.
I hope everyone appreciated that story that Lieutenant Harmon just shared with us. And every time you sit down in that vehicle, you remember your 4 and you remember to buckle up. Thanks, guys, and have a great week.